Hi everybody. Yes, glad to be here. Thank you. I'll try to show you one way of the future, which hopefully is a bit brighter when it concerns nation states. I don't know whether it happens or not, but I'll try to do my best that it would. And to speak about the future of nation states, let's go a bit back from history. Who has been ever hunting in their lives? Raise your hand. Oh, quite many.
Something else than mosquitoes?
This arguably has been for millions of years what humans did. Small groups, 20 people, hunting, living different places around the world. Agricultural revolution, right? 12,000 years ago, people settled in, managed to grow larger families, more children, more work. I don't know whether it was happier or less happier. Industrial revolution, like take this 20 million years and put that last 200 years of industrial revolution and how short that frame has been, right? And together with the industrial revolution also the concept of nation states as such. So my first point here is that when we consider nation states, then let's not assume that they will stay at all as they are today, because they are just so fresh things. And cities have emerged, right? The Mexico City. What it has led to is that we are living in a world where it's like bingo. Your life quality really depends on where you were born. On which side of that border you were born, your life is totally different. And it's like, imagine like being born in Facebook. And then you are randomly allocated to one Facebook group. There are groups of Trump supporters and groups that the earth is flat. And you know, different kinds of groups, and it's cool that we have that variety. But imagine that you need to stick with that group forever. And you need to have the same values as that group has, forever. And this is what they see, like kind of nation state today, they are. You're born there, whether you like it or not, most probably you hold the same passport forever, and you need to have the same values as we do. No words what and how it ends up. We see that daily basis and more. It's just kind of not sustainable in that way anymore. The area of automatization, what we speak here and what you know guys everything about, and where it all leads to we don't know. But what we know as a government of Estonia is that we need to change ourselves now to leverage that way. To leverage those global citizens, first of all, who don't want to be attached to one concrete nation, who are living everywhere, who are doing work everywhere. And some estimations are that we have millions of them coming in coming years. And the question is, which nation serves them? And then we reached the story of 3 years ago when I started to run e-Residencies that, hey, let's be the nation. Let's become a global borderless nation which serves everybody globally, not only those citizens who happen to be born in that little area of Estonia. And to tell you the story of this and what we plan to do, let's go back 15 years of history and see where Estonia has led to and what it is today. This is the screenshot of Estonia. Believe it or not, but if I showed that 10 years ago to people, then they said this is the ugliest thing. Why it's such a mess around there? This is the data exchange layer, how data flows in Estonia. It's a decentralized data exchange layer. When you show that today, especially here, then everybody rather sees that it's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. And how it works is that each person has its unique identifier, digital ID, logs into the system and tells the government what data they can access from your data set. So you own your data. For example, if I log into one of the green systems there, I give access, the tax office to access my salary, my pension funds, my property. It calculates everything together for me and I just digitally sign and accept. and I have declared my taxes. The same with everything. And this is also blockchain, so each of the transaction has unique hash, which is blockchain, meaning that I really believe and trust the system, because no government employees can manipulate it, can change the data, and without that I would be aware of. And this means that there's a level of trust. 15 years ago created. And fast forward 15 years, it enabled hundreds and thousands of services for Estonian citizens. From e-prescription, e-health, electronic health record, e-police, e-tax, e-school, e-everything, you know. And today is a great day. I'll try to take maximum 3-4 minutes and do one pilot with you. I need to go to the computer. So today we have local elections in Estonia. So let's try to vote. So please, let's take. This is the voting application. I now log into the system using my mobile ID. I'll write my mobile number. I'll click next. So now I need to identify who I am. If you check my mobile phone in my hand, the other way around, it checks whether it's 0168 is the code. I said yes, now it's pin 1. I log into the system. Ask whether it's me. Yes, I'll choose a candidate. I'll choose random at the moment. Choose. Vote. No? Now it asks me my PIN 2, which is a digital signature, if you look at here. It asks whether this code matches. Yes, I say yes, it matches. PIN 2. And done. I have voted. You can put the slides back. Why I managed to do a random choice and I'm not worried is that you can vote as many times as you want and the last vote counts. So today evening I will actually start deciding who I vote. And this is because if someone puts a gun to our head, which is the main question, like what to do, then I go to the toilet and then give another vote. The question then was, and this is not innovation, it's been the 10 years, to be honest. Like, the question was 3 years ago. If we are fully digital, why do we need to offer those services to Estonians? Like, why one nation needs to offer services to one specific area around the world? And it didn't make sense, so we thought that, hey, let's become a global nation, a borderless nation. Let's invite every person on the planet, every good person on the planet to join our digital nation and to become a digital citizen of Estonia, an e-resident. Very first applications what e-residents do are regarding business. They run their companies remotely through e-Residency. And I'll give you 1 minute video. It's a bit promotion video, so sorry about that, but 1 minute video regarding what e-residents do.
Our new digital world knows no borders, and great business ideas are no longer limited by where you work or live. E-Estonia is a digital nation for global citizens, for those who've thrown off the shackles of national boundaries. Literally anyone in the world can apply. E-Residency is legitimate and transparent. A government-issued digital identity that gives you the freedom to run a global EU company online from anywhere in the world. Establish a company within a day. Access business banking. use international payment providers, digitally sign documents and contracts, and declare Estonian taxes online. We're Estonia. Tech is our expertise. And through e-Residency, we are empowering entrepreneurs everywhere. No matter where you were born, no matter what passport you carry, you can apply. Use e-Residency to run your business from anywhere in the world. Unleash your entrepreneurial potential, because no business should be bound by physical borders. Apply for e-Residency today and join our new digital nation. e-resident.gov.ee.
Thank you. This is still 20 seconds past. So. Since launch a few years ago, we have 25,000 of you. Raise your hand if you're e-resident. Woohoo! That's crazy, thank you. 70% of e-residents are still fans, helping us to change our laws, to tell what service they need. 30% run their companies. And this is all right, we like fans also, and thank you for support. Throughout the last few years, we have changed over 10 laws for e-residents, we have changed new services and everything. But the question is still that what else can we do and where it all goes? We can see more and more that a global is kind of like one word, which makes sense that the world is like for all of us. And if you think like that, then each nation should have its role on it. Like each nation should identify what's their role on making the world a better place. What's your home nation's role to making the world a better place? And many nations have that role already. And this is what we see in Estonia, that Estonia's role is. This is Estonia's gift to the world, to offer the digital nation platform for everybody to leverage on, and business environment today. But it all could go further, much further. The business environment is one thing. I'm also considering healthcare through e-prescriptions to offer everyone, considering physical movement, passport, visa applications. 3 weeks ago, we wrote a blog post, what if Estonia could offer S-coins to e-residents, and Estonia would be the first country to do initial coin offering. Have you read this? Raise your hand. Small world. The idea was very open and in purpose, not to limit too much about what it can be, but of course it reached hundreds of millions of people, and we have received feedback, and e-residents have even designed Estcoin, what it should be and could be. The Bank of Europe, of course, said that they don't want cryptocurrency, so we can put that off table at the moment. But what if it's crypto token or it's a security? And the problem, what I'm trying to solve now is there is very difficult for a nation to raise funds. Like if you really believe in Estonia, how could you invest in Estonia? You can buy shares of startups, you can buy property. If Estonia would have bonds, you would get 5% interest rate. But you can't invest in Estonia. If I would release crypto tokens for you, would you buy them? All of them. And I think also, besides it's just cool, I think if government backs up something and uses this through digital identities to verify each person, each background, and to offer some real value on top of that. And for example, what the value can be, my latest thoughts are there that what if you could get discounts from the corporate tax if you have a certain amount of S-coins. You buy more, you have further discount in corporate tax. That's why if you run a company, you can go up to 0 corporate tax if you own a huge amount of S-coins. That further raises investments to Estonia, and it gives motivation for you to hold on those S-coins. Of course, it's one example, but basically, why should the nation have an alternative way of financing itself? Because the business model of nation will change anyway. I truly believe that the taxation won't stay there for too long. We have seen today already e-residents exchanging value and paying their salaries through bitcoins. We as a government don't get any taxation from that. So if governments will start losing their taxation through cryptocurrency, they need new revenue models anyway, and they need new fines to finance them. So it's a very logical step for each government to launch their own crypto tokens also. Until then, we have different private sector companies like Mothership or Change who do their ICOs, who can leverage the e-residency infrastructure, digital identities. So if you try to launch yours, use e-residency for KYC and digital identities, build up your apps on top of that, and offer value to e-residents. And I'll do that kind of promotion to you. This is, by the way, another promotion, Alpha Plus, an Estonian startup. I try to change the shirt every time I speak somewhere. It's AI-based customer service, so if you are interested in that, then you know. All in all, my conclusion here is that too often we consider blockchains as separately from other important matters. And don't forget governments. Like, governments, I think, can really make that legit what we do. And together with digital identities, policy making, blockchain, we can see, I think, services which will truly change everything. And I hope to run that from Estonian side, that you would have at least some platform to pivot your ideas. Finally, let's imagine that it's 2027, 10 years from now, and we're again here. And let's imagine the life and ask those questions from yourself. What nation in the world serves 1 billion global citizens? What services will you use from your own country if you are a digital citizen of 10 other nations? What will be the source of the income for the country if cryptocurrencies are eating up all the taxation? What happens with countries who go to scaling mode and start scaling, say, 1,000% GDP increase per year? And more sadly, what happens to those countries who can't find their role in this new world? Thank you.
Thank you, Kaspar. Yeah, that's always really amazing. I'm assuming there are so many questions, so we'll have a few. If that's possible?
Yes.
Yeah. I see one here. Sarah?
Hi, this was really, really interesting. Actually, I do want to ask you your last question. So what happens to those who can't find their place in this new system? Because when you start, collecting taxes in the name of many different residential countries in one system, you definitely head towards some sort of inequality, imbalance.
Yeah, I think taxation is not, thank you for the question. Taxation itself I would separate, because we don't change the taxation regulations internationally, so e-residents usually pay taxes where they live physically. The income would come from other places. But coming back to your question, what happens to nations who can't find their role? I call them pointless nations. I don't know. I don't know. I know that there can be random nations who pop up as a great digital programs to offer you some services, and you opt in. Then definitely there will be a role for something. But nation itself can, of course, go to like city-based nations. I can be a resident of my hometown. Tallinn offers me protection physically to something. So in that sense, there will be definitely nations who can't survive, because the competitiveness level there is not just there, and you can't find the services which are the best at something, because you need to be the best at something in order to survive. Like startups, you're best at something, you offer that globally. Nation needs to be best at something, because you don't go to the second best nation to do something, you're going to the best nation. And then there will be global marketplace, thousands of services from different service providers, and yes, some nations can't find its role, and nothing to say there.
Hello. I'm also an e-resident, and I'm working in the blockchain space for a long time now, and I'm actually getting paid in all kind of cryptocurrency all the time, and I don't see so much support in Estonia for that, and I'm wondering why. So I'm living here in Berlin, and I'm still doing my tax report in Berlin, even I have an Estonian company. I'm not really using it because I cannot do it with cryptocurrencies, and I can do it here in Berlin, which I think is a little bit strange.
Yeah, thanks. And this is the thing what I'm going to do next. And Trent promised to help us also regarding what laws we need to change. So you can help me. The first step is what laws we need to change in Estonia to make it the most crypto-friendly nation in the world. Second of all, you can try to pivot those startups what you have through me, because through me we can kind of test it, what should we do and how should we do it. But I totally admit that, like Estonia, many nations are not there yet with the new crypto wave. ICOs are not regulated, you can do them, but we kind of don't know what happens to you then. But yeah, and as long as I think for long run we are kind of together for there, that you're not scared of like what you do, but you're open about that, and you come to us and say, let's change that together, because we don't have that know-how in Estonia, legislation part, what should we do? So let's just take this journey together. Thank you.
Yeah, there is one there, and then there is a person here in the front with a blue vest.
How worried are you about the ECB in all of this? Because obviously Draghi made some quite disparaging comments about this project being illegal.
Escoin, I mean,
yeah, Escoin, yeah. So what are you going to do about that? Are you going to follow us and leave? Which I don't advise, by the way.
The funny thing was that when I proposed Escoin, then I really didn't have, I don't know, will to do it in many sense, because I had my things, what I'm doing anyway. But after those critical comments, what we can't do, you know how it encourages us. So, Draghi wasn't informed what can be Escoin. Escoin doesn't have to be cryptocurrency, so we can start from that. And there are definitely ways how to use that. I'm putting together now the second version of the article, what we are going to do, and I'll send it to Draghi for his comments, and I'm sure it will be more supportive.
Thanks.
Yeah, the person with the blue shirt here, with his hand up, I'd love to.
Yeah, thanks. My name is Ilya, and I'm also an e-resident for a couple of months. And what was surprising for me yesterday, which I didn't tell, that many people in this room, to my opinion, do not understand what crypto is for real. And one point is that when people are telling that Bitcoin is like awful due to the fact that electricity prices, that we consume too much electricity for it, I think that there is a misunderstanding, because the only reason all of us are sitting here is that Bitcoin had this change. I mean, like, that it costs something which has a cost in the real world, and which makes it the real great transaction currency. So we can measure this cost, and it's okay that it goes up. And my question is, like, this Escoin, would it be an asset or a currency? Do you understand this difference? And maybe if it's an asset, it would be like 1% from corporate tax collected from this e-business in future, something like this. So how do you see this? Thanks.
How do you see yourself? How do you see yourself?
I think that 1% tax collected would be a really great idea. I'm not sure if it's security. It's not a currency anymore in this way, but it's a sort of securities, but the one which you've never seen before. So, like, maybe that could be interesting.
Yeah. I think that also. I don't want to do the current survey, at the moment at least not. And I want, how to say that politely, I want to take your money which you wanted to invest in Escoin. to find ways of how to motivate you to give that money and buy Escoins and be part of this ecosystem, and then get this positive kind of feedback loop going, that the more Escoins you have, the more benefits you receive, the more of Escoin money is invested back to the companies created by e-residents. They generate more revenue again, that again invested back more there, so that if that positive loop goes on, you can see the 1000% GDP increase per month is not like science fiction.
Cool. Okay, so I've heard a lot of people here talking about coins in terms of, and the e-country in terms of money. But I was taught that country is mostly based around culture. So people sharing the same culture. Is there one thing that you can tell me that Estonia culture gives me that I should join the e-country of Estonia?
Yeah, very good question. I think when you have those 10 different digital citizenships globally, where you can opt in and out, then I truly support that. I will choose my digital nations according to the culture and I would say values what they hold. So if I need to be political at sometimes, I don't want to name some countries, but if some countries would come up with their digital citizenship, I wouldn't join them, because I need to be political. But what are the values of e-residency? Is transparency, legitimacy, inclusiveness, and empowering. 4 values. And transparency especially, what e-residents today value. Everything, and why criminals are not joining the nation through companies, is that everything is transparent. The board members, the managers, the taxation, what you pay is transparent. Digital transactions, accessing the infrastructure. And because it's transparent, we get people who have good intentions, who don't have anything to hide. And definitely this comes back to the core values, what values each digital citizenship scheme holds and where you want to opt in. So if you value transparency, empowering, inclusiveness, and legitimacy, which is very important and sometimes missed by the whole new global services and nations who call themselves nations, is legitimacy. Everything we do need to be legitimized. So the blockchain companies, like I mentioned, would like to come there. Then join the nation.
All right. Thank you, Kaspar.
Thank you.